What's going on? It's Rich Brecklin, your Arizona real estate agent with Real Broker. Today, we're going to do a deep dive into the Scottsdale, Arizona real estate market, not just Scottsdale as a whole, but break it down by zip code. When I talk about real estate being hyper local, I mean that not just the area, the city, the town, but the zip code and also the neighborhood. Because in Scottsdale, like a lot of places in any town across America, zip codes matter and they have different numbers. So we're going to go into that and look at what exactly is happening here in the market. So first things first, though, I'm going to pull up the Cromford report because, well, it has some really good data and I like it and I use it quite a bit. So again, this is just speaking about Scottsdale. Now, here they show the active listings to be up from last month and last quarter. Now, I look mainly at single family detached, and we're slightly below this 1311. We're just over 1,000. And again, these are just data points. This is not my opinion. This is not my emotion involved. This is numbers. So when you see these articles posted online or social media and talking about, oh, here's what's happening, well, look at the numbers. Look, what does the data say? Because the numbers do not lie. So pending listings are up from last month quite a bit and last quarter. Now they're down from a year ago and 2 years ago, but that is expected. And as rates have gone up from a month ago, 2 months ago, it'll be interesting to watch what that metric does. Now, in my experience, all things point to, well, you should see that number drop. However, what we're seeing here is inventory fall because what makes home affordability, so difficult and more expensive, it also affects sellers willing to put their home on the market because who wants to trade in a 3% rate for a home they bought, a few years ago for much less than what they could buy the same home for today. So the monthly payment is going to be more because of that high rate and because of what appreciation has done over the last few years. So that is something to consider. And I think that's going to help keep pricing in check. Only time will tell, but that is just a metric I'm going to pay attention to. I'm not married to that thought, and I'm willing to change my mind and opinion based on what the data is showing me. Another data point I like to look at is month supply of inventory. Again, we're at 3.8 months, down from 5.3 and 4.2, which means if no other homes hit the market for sale in 3.8 months, there would be no homes left. And your average list per square foot, that's down a little bit. Maybe sellers are getting a little bit more realistic with their pricing, but your average price per square foot of sold homes is up. Now, that's a trend we're not just seeing in Scottsdale, but all across the market. So when people talk pricing falling, well, the average price per square foot has gone up. So again, these are just numbers. Don't shoot the messenger here. And then your listing success rate. Now, again, the luxury market, the listing success rate across the entire market is nearing 80%. Now, in the luxury market, which Scottsdale I consider to be luxury because the average sales price is over $1.4 million, then that number is going to be usually a little bit less. You can't compare the same metrics with the entire market, but you can in an area like Scottsdale or Paradise Valley. But a 69.3% listing success rate is good. Typically in a normal market, normal area, not luxury, 65% is good. So above that, you're in a hot market. And a luxury, that number is usually a little bit less. So the fact we're almost at 70% in Scottsdale for sellers, that is a good thing. And buyers, just something for you to take note of. That doesn't mean though you can just put a sign in the yard, throw any price you want, and they'll sell, because those are the properties we see coming off the market and not selling. And again, in Scottsdale, in the last 30 days, today's March 8th, the last 30 days, there have been 324 single family homes sold. And the average price of those homes, $1.430 million. So $1.4 million, not bad. And if you look here, this is again taking everything into consideration, up $200,000 from last month and up $100,000 from last quarter. So we're seeing, again, the data showing us Scottsdale homes, they are selling. People are willing to pay a lot of money for them. And that is the data. That is where we're at. And now I'm going to go to the contract ratio, and I'm going to explain what the contract ratio is. And now I'm going to get to this map. And before that, though, the Cromford Market Index, remember, 100 is balanced, over 100 seller's market, below is a buyer's market. And Scottsdale hasn't been below 100 in a while. We're up from last month and up from last quarter. But let's head over to that map. So this is the contract ratio map. Now, the contract ratio, it indicates how hot a market is. It measures the number of completed sales and contracts relative to the supply of active listings. So it's defined as 100 times pending listings plus under contract backup divided by active listings excluding under contract backup. The higher the number, the greater the buying activity is relative to supply. A balanced market for normal market segments, the value of the contract ratio is usually between 30 and 60. When it lies below 20, then it can be considered a slow or cold market. Now, in a luxury market, you're going to see that number be lower typically. So 30 to 60 is normal and a normal area, average price point area. Then usually you're going to see that number fall. So normal and balanced for a luxury area, you might be able to get away with 20 to 50 or 20 to 40. Now here exactly is what is going on. I'm going to blow this up again for you so you can see exactly what we're seeing here with the map. This is broken down by zip code. So we're going to go by each zip code in Scottsdale. Now, 85262, it is considered cold because 20 to 30. There are 300 active homes there, only 85 under contract. It is a 28.3 contract ratio. We go to 85266. Again, it is balanced. It is warm. And I would consider it to be closer to warm / hot because it is a luxury market and we're nearing that 60 mark. 83 active, 46 under contract. 85255. Again, 50. It is balanced. 292 active, 146 under contract. And then 85259, hot. It is 91 active, 70 under contract. And again, 60 to 80, you're going to be in that hot range. And so with this being the luxury market and we're nearing 80, I would consider this to be a very competitive market for a buyer. 85260, balanced and warm, 135 active, 68 under contract. 85254, the magic zip code. If you've heard of that, this is where that area is. Again, this is a hot. It is 83.3. It is always highly desired. A lot of people want to live in this area, and I can see why. It is a great spot to be. I know a lot of my friends live there. They love it for just the amenities and what you get for living in that zip code. But 83.3. And then we go to 85253, only 2 active, zero under contract. So they call it a barren desert. 85250, balanced again, 88 active, 44 under contract. 85258. It is hot. So as you see this trend, you don't see anything really that's cold, except for the one that had 0, but not very densely populated there, not a lot coming on the market either. This is probably one of the lower ones we've seen, 85251, 49.6, 234 active, 116 under contract. And then 85257, 78 active, 50 under contract. So hopefully that kind of gives you an idea, and you can see the trends here of what has happened. This was the crazy frenzy where I would hate to be a buyer, but and then you see that trend fall, and we all know that's what happened. And then here is when really we had a ton of inventory hit, rates were higher, people weren't used to it yet, and we've seen that trend going upward. So that is what we are seeing in Scottsdale in this market. It is active. The bottom is not falling out yet. We'll see what happens as rates continue to rise, which they're going to, if sellers still want to hold on, if inventory remains low and buyers are still looking to get into Scottsdale. It is a great area, high price points, beautiful homes. So if that is what you're looking for, let me know. This is going to be an area you'll need to check out, and send me a message on Instagram. Like I always say, click the link below in the description, and I'll see you on the next video. Watch this one because you'll love it. It's Rich Brecklin, Real Broker.